Hello everyone, and welcome to EWOW 5B. I'm Sumnerd, spreadsheet enthusiast and EWOW's quality assurance officer, and I'm here with my co-commentator Wiscause to bring you the 5th round's results. Let's get right into it. EWOW's 5th prompt was, you are sent back to the year 5555 BCE. Convince the people there that you're a god. Out of the 5,690 contestants eligible to respond, 4,016 submitted responses. In order to gain a life this round, you must have placed in the top 201, and in order to avoid losing a life, you must have placed in the top 2,048. Let's see how you all did.
Hey guys, I'm Wiscause, a longtime TWOW community member and 12 Central moderator, and I'm here to discuss voting statistics. This round, we received 7,808 votes from 1,638 voters. Despite a decline in voter count, there was an increase in total votes cast thanks to the new voting system incentivizing voting multiple times. Every response got at least 7 votes. The average response received 20.97 votes, and the most votes a response received was 73. That's an increase of over 70% in votes per response. For this round, voter shoutouts go to Scorb, Metaside, and 8-Bit Taco. Thank you 3 for voting 20 times. Now, it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for, revealing the round winner. Who did the best? Well, it was none other than Gemuan, with the response, Time Loop. I return, they kill me again, resulting in a congratulations. They received a score of 92.06%, which is the lowest winning score so far. They were also the only person to score above 90% this round, so good job to them. The other podium placements go to Cat World, with the response, these are tattoos of demons I've slain, Lucario, Pikachu, Mewtwo, Charizard, and IRDM, who said, having rubbed balloons before time traveling, say, feel my godly static electricity. Great job to you two on also reaching 5B's podium. Rounding out the top 10, we have EWOW, Purplegaze, EWOW, the Pink Bunny Empire, Blue Pumpkin, Jujumas, and Thanos Whale. There's a lot of wordplay in this top 10. EWOW, Jujumas, and Thanos Whale all used puns. The Pink Bunny Empire wrote a rhyme. And round winner Gemuan has a cycling sentence, kinda like those TikToks that end with that's why before looping. Finishing off the top 20, there's Sinister Shovel, Cisco the Ginger, Tetrian22, Aaron VX, Iron Ninja 1116, Electric NJ, Leopard Sun, Deckard V, Lyrical Tyrant, and Clover Pepsi. Many of this round's top 20 really needed this prize. 4 people here were on their last life. And just like the top 10, there were 3 more pun responses and another rhyming response. In fact, the Pink Bunny Empire and Tetrian22 both wrote rhymes with Wine and Divine, demonstrating how ancient civilizations really cherished their alcohol. Sinister Shovel used seemingly wicked magical powers to trick everyone, similar to how Lyrical Tyrant appeared godlike by using otherworldly abilities to cure illnesses, when they really just started practicing basic hygiene. Huge congratulations to our top 20 of EWOW 5B.
Let's take a quick look at the responses at large and see how certain common words performed. Here's the histogram for the responses' average percentiles. We can see that the overall average is just a little below 50%, with the 137 responses mentioning fire doing about a single percentage point worse on average. Tape, referring to Cary's explanation of the prompt, did slightly better, while responses about detached or disappearing thumbs did much better than that. Predicting eclipses and preventing disease got you around 60%, while mentioning EWOW was almost always a one-way ticket to life loss, placing you around the high 30%. One last trend to look at. The nearly 500 responses that started and ended with a quote, suggesting they were dialogue, performed at around 54% on average, suggesting that it was better to do this than not to. Go figure. Moving on, let's see where the life counts stand. You might notice that nobody has 8 lives on this chart, meaning that neither 4D Jumpman 256 nor Shrimochi prized this round. 4D Jumpman actually got 206th place, just 5 ranks and a mere 0.1% away from the prize region. So close, yet so far, which means that the life cap remains undetermined for now. We'll have to wait and see how well the now 7 7-lifers do in EWOW 6. Congratulations to Purplegaze, Zyloba, EWOW, EWOW, and Scorb for becoming septuply healthy this round. For an alternative look at how contestants are doing, here's a Sankey diagram of life counts throughout EWOW. In a complete vacuum, you'd expect any contestant to have around 50% odds of losing a life, but it's very clear from this view that contestants with lower life counts are much more likely to lose lives, either by placing in the bottom half of contestants or DNPing. On a more serious note, some folks have noticed that there are contestants whose life counts drop with seemingly no explanation. You might even notice a few lines on this diagram that denote contestants that lose more than 1 life in a round. These are not mistakes, as these contestants have been identified as cheating in EWOW, and corrective action has been taken. We ask that you be respectful of these contestants and do not harass them if you notice any discrepancies. We understand there might be some confusion or concern regarding what we consider to be cheating, so we will address this more directly in the next episode. However, by and large, any actions that involve multiple accounts or people to secure a gameplay advantage are prohibited. So voting your response first with your account and only your account is not cheating. We'd like to give a huge thanks to Luzard and Lavriv for spearheading the effort to screen votes, as their work has been invaluable to keeping EWOW fair. Unfortunately, we must bid adieu to the 1,928 contestants that have reached 0 lives this round. From the 1,000-odd DNPers to the 844 low placements, you have etched your names onto the rock of EWOW history. We hope you all enjoyed your time on the competition, and thank you for your participation. As a silver lining, the 3,760 surviving contestants can now confidently claim that they are in EWOW's top fourth of contestants. Good luck to you all as the crowd continues to thin.
Anyway, now that 5 rounds have passed, you might be wondering, which players have been doing the best across all of EWOW? We can look at this by bringing back a statistic you might remember from TWOW Season 1, normalized ranks. In this metric, every round, the contestants' performances are normalized to the same range, so that the winner gets 100% and the last place gets 0%. Then, we can average each contestant's performances to find out who's doing the best. Looking at the standings, our frontrunner is 40 Jumpman 256, which makes sense, given that he prized 4 rounds in a row and only barely missed the 5th. He has a score of 97.35%, which means that, on average, 40 Jumpman places within the top 3% of all contestants every round. Behind him in the standings is Luzard, having an average of 96.17%, over a full percentage point behind. Purplegaze comes in 3rd, followed by Tai Person and TT Guy 10,000 to round out the top 5. 40 Jumpman has such a commanding lead that TT Guy is 2.77% behind. A 2.77% difference may not sound that large, but it's the equivalent of 40 Jumpman placing 237 ranks above TT Guy every single round. This is quite a feat to perform, especially considering that TT Guy has also prized twice so far. Let's switch gears and look at the bottom of the normalized ranks. This is a little bit more nuanced, because in this season, players can DNP and lose lives rather than automatically being eliminated. Because of this, only contestants that have responded to all 5 rounds thus far will be considered. Therefore, the lowest performer out of all DNPers is Zabusta, having a score of just 37.30%. Zabusta prized in round 1, just barely survived round 2, and has been in the bottom 20% of the leaderboard ever since. For EWOW, we're defining the coveted title of Efficiency Champion as the lowest performer who has yet to lose a life. In that case, this is Chaotic Leaf, who has an average of 55.51%, which they achieved by placing between 51 and 58% in normalized rank each round. Now it's time to find out how our EWOW host Cary did. Cary fared much better this round, scoring 66.97% with the response Memorize Astronomy Books, then Time Warp, Shout Bye Bye Sun hours before eclipse. As seen in the histograms, voters really enjoyed the idea of astonishing ancients by predicting the sun's disappearance, as Cary was just out of reach of the prize region. Great job this round, Cary. As for the AI, they suffered their first eliminations last round, losing 12 of their number. However, did any AI end up getting eliminated this round? Yes. 11 more AI have been eliminated this round, dropping the total AI count to 77. Even though the AI have continued to drop in numbers, their percentage of the remaining contestant pool has only increased. Right now, the AI have surpassed 2% of all remaining contestants. If you guys aren't careful, the AI will soon dominate the player base and we will lose. So continue beating those AI EWOWers.
On to the next round. We're going to keep it simple with the 6th EWOW prompt, so here it is. Give a false reason for a true fact. Deceptive in its simplicity, perhaps. As always, you are encouraged to approach this prompt however you like. Write a witty, clever, funny, or playful response. The world's your oyster. The responding deadline will be August 12th, 23:59 Pacific Daylight Time. As always, make sure to use the Google form linked in the description to submit your response. And if you haven't seen our most recent announcement, you might want to check that out here. Just keep in mind that going forward, you'll have to be logged into a Google account to submit. With that out of the way, it's time to show the full leaderboard for EWOW 5B. Use the following timestamps to find yourself on the Alphabetical Leaderboard. That's all for now. I've been Sumnerd.
And I've been Wiscause.
And we'll see you next time
in EWOW 6A.
Hey guys, Purplegaze here, the editor of this episode. While you're still here, I just wanted to give a huge thanks to terminatedslime for making all the lovely little doodles and slideshows spread throughout the episode. They helped relieve a ton of my workload with editing this time around. And, of course, massive thanks to Ali% for his wonderful art as usual. Anyway, you can go use the video chapters to find yourself in the Alphabetical Leaderboard now. Or you can stay here and listen to part of the EWOW development team record a podcast or something while the rest of the video plays out. See ya!
Alright, hi. I know I just signed off of the episode, but we decided we need some filler audio to put in here because searching up royalty-free music was a little too difficult. So, hi, again, I'm Sumnerd. I'm joined by Koopa and Ali%, if you would like to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Koopa.
Hi, I'm Ali.
And so this is a little something that Clover Pepsi has decided to call Everyone Watches Our Waffling. It's the EWOW podcast. It's the worst podcast on earth. So yeah, we're just here to fill out this section with white noise. You can mute the video if you really hate hearing us, but yeah. We don't have a topic yet, so how's your days, guys?
My day has gone, it's gone fine. I haven't really done much exciting today.
Yeah, more or less same story here. Pretty good. Just
chilling?
Just sort of chilling, yeah.
Your average Saturday afternoon?
Yeah.
Yep.
Evening for you guys, I guess, yeah. Alright, cool. Yeah, I was helping out a storytelling game of Blood on the Clock Tower earlier. And that's been my day. I woke up at 11 and I felt really bad. So, there's that. Because normally I wake
There
up.
was a game of Blood in there was a game of Blood in the Clock Tower played today. It lasted like 3 hours.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with this game. Can you explain it?
Okay, I guess that's our topic now. Blood on the Clock Tower is a social deduction game of the likes of like Mafia and One Night Werewolf, where it's engineered such that dying in the game doesn't nullify your participation immediately, and it's a very thoughtfully designed, and every player gets a different role, so there's a lot of unique things to be done in the game instead of just generic town player and mafioso as compared to like a classic game of Mafia. So there's a lot of intrigue and engagement and active information finding. And I think one of the greatest selling points that the Pandemonium Institute has managed to make for the game is that after a player dies in the game, they're still allowed to talk, and they have one extra vote that they can spend throughout the rest of the game. So even if evil tends to be running away with the game, and in terms of a purely numerical perspective, the good team can clutch it up at the end, and there's a lot more consideration going into the type of strategy rather than just systemically eliminating everyone as the game progresses.
Sounds like flippy floppy. Like, how much does like early game matter to the end game?
That's what's pretty interesting about the game. So there's specifically in a typical game of One Night, like let's say Mafia, right? There has to be a facilitator role, right? In Blood on the Clock Tower, there is a storyteller who always has to make every decision and resolve actions throughout the night phases, because in most games of this type, there are day and night phases in which people act secretly and silently during the night, and then during the day you can discuss and determine who you want to hang for the day, basically,
Okay.
to have them executed. And what's the way that this is sort of counterbalanced, right, is that around, I want to say, 15 to 30% of the players are evil, and this is sort of there's a sort of deterministic way to figure out how many players you put on each team, because there's 4 types of roles. There's the townsfolk, right, who are the good players, and have powerful abilities to help the town. There's the outsiders, the players who are good aligned, but their abilities are often detrimental to the good team, so they're an interesting spot. There's the minions, who are on the evil team and are their abilities are meant to be subservient to the demon, who is often the killing agent in the game. And if the demon dies, good wins. So the minions' abilities are meant to, confuse town and essentially push forward in the evil team's interests. Whereas, the demon's job is to blend in and then make sure, they don't get executed throughout the game. Also, hi, Mr. Dell.
Hi.
Mr. Dell has just joined the call. We are...
Hi, Del.
He sure has.
Hi, Del.
Hello, Del. We're currently talking about Blood on the Clock Tower because we didn't have a better topic, and people asked.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So we're about 5 minutes in, but how's your day been, Del? How you doing?
It's been pretty good.
That's all.
Yeah.
Just pretty good. Can't believe it. He's muted. He's ashamed. He's ashamed of having a good day, guys. It's kind of sad.
Dang.
But yeah. The demon player gets 3 bluffs. What is known as bluffs, which are, they get a guarantee of 3 townsfolk that aren't in the game. So, they could just masquerade as one of those and then just disseminate this info to their minions, because the evil team in most scripts learn who each other are on the first night. And then they can, sort of, scheme silently with each other throughout the day. But, there's a sort of social balancing you have to do there of like, oh, do I go talk to them now, or is that going to look too suspicious to an onlooker, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of it's a genuinely really well designed game, and it's really fun to play and storytell.
And I think Koopa said earlier, like sometimes these can go up to like 3 hours, right?
Yeah. But the game in question was like 15 players.
Mm.
Usually they take like 1 to 2 hours.
Okay.
I have had the misfortune of playing in a 4.5 hour game of this one of these before, but that was because it was on a certain game script where people just waffled around for a while, so nothing got done for.
I once played a game as the demon, where it lasted 10 days and I still lost.
Wow.
Not 10 real life days, 10 in-game days, which is a lot. Usually it lasts around like, I think the average is like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
For like a game of the size of the game that I played.
What went wrong in that one? Was there like a lot of games going on, or?
Well, I was the Zombool and I got hit by the Exorcist, I think 3 times, and then they chose not to execute me for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, wow, Jesus.
It was very, very funny.
Yeah, wow.